Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a birthday card to share with you using the animal number 7 frogs from Rachelle Anne Miller. This one is a digital stamp, so I printed it on Transotype perfect coloring paper, and I'm going to use my Copic markers to color everything in. Now, to keep it as simple as possible, although we have quite a lot going on here with these 7 frogs, I decided to use the same markers for the frogs. I am doing 2 types of frogs, however, but I will only be showing you a few of them. A lot of the coloring is repeating itself, so therefore I thought just limiting myself to a few and showing you how it came together would have been enough to show you the idea. Again, I'm so sorry about those tiny hairs that are floating in front of the camera. It's a tiny bit annoying, but you know those baby hairs, they do whatever they please, so I don't have a lot to say here. Okay, first of all, I wanted to color these frogs in greens or aquas kind of colors, but then I thought, well, the design team has already shown you some inspiration with those colors, so maybe just switch it up a bit, and that's how I came to these yellow frogs. I will use green for the leaves and then blue for the 7 and the water. So a lot of fun actually, and I really do like how these yellow frogs turned out. It's a bit in between orange and yellow, and I think they look kind of cute. Now, as you see here, to get some midtones, I needed to do some tip to tip. That is where you bring one of your markers and you go over another marker, and this way you sort of get an in-between color, and that can really help. So if you have some markers that you really like but you don't have the mid-tone in between, definitely try out this technique, because this can really extend the amount of colors you can use while coloring with your Copic markers or alcohol markers in general. So a lot of fun here. Now about these numbers, I don't know if you followed along. I have already colored a few of them, some here, some on the Rachelle Anne Miller YouTube channel. And the objective here is to color at least each of them once. That I would really love. So I'm just making sure that I am, well, crossing off all of these boxes. So I think I already colored number 1, number 4. I did more. Here's 7. I know that I did 6, but I still have to showcase that one. I also did 9 and 2. So, you know, we're almost there. Somewhere along the way, I will color all of them. And I truly adore them. I said it in the past, I personally find these numbers are incredible. We're using them here to send to my nieces and nephews, and I think it's really fun for a little child to get a card with the number of their name, and if they can see that the amount of animals correspond with the number, I think that is really cool feature about these animal numbers. So here in between, whenever I have a little boo-boo, I always use a colorless blender. It's always close by when I'm coloring with alcohol markers, because I always go outside the lines or I mess up somewhere along the way. So it's a really handy marker to have on hand. Now here just some simple colors, warm grays for that stone, and then we will move on to the rest. Now for the shadowing this time, there are several ways you can do shadowing. If you want to work with some sort of a light source, there is like the option to see how the critters are positioned or the images, and just work with the backs of the images or critters and look towards which area they are facing and have the light source there. And that's how you can switch up in a light source on your card completely. In this case, I decided to just have my light source on the left side, so all my shadows are on the right. Also here in 7, I am putting it somehow on the right side. Another thing that I also mentioned with the other animal numbers and in some other cards, I'm trying to leave a bit of a gap between the 7, well, between my darkest marker and the edge. It's a way or a technique that can help you appear that these numbers are rounded. And so that's why I just left a tiny gap. I will fill it up with a mid-tone. But that's something that I like doing if I have the patience to not go all the way against the edge of the number. And then of course a few layers, you just keep adding as much as you need to. That's also why I love using Transotype Perfect coloring paper, and it is not too thick to go through my printer. So that's really handy as well. Now to keep everything simple again, as my frogs are yellow, I thought, well, yellow, green and then blue, so I'm reusing some of the blues in the water and just adding a few more to have it really light. And I'm also trying to have it a bit natural. The water, I don't want it to end in a straight line anywhere, so it's a bit organic, if you can call it like that. To keep it for myself a bit easy, I decided to not add any sky. I think the illusion of the sky is still there, keeping it white. So that's what I decided to do. So here I'm going back and forth, and this is sort of a scenery, so I am not completely confident about what I can do, but water can go from left to right, and as long as I keep these kind of lines going on, I think it kind of works. So that can be a help for many of you, I think. Also sky, if you want to color sky, just go from left to right with your markers. That is always something that works. Just different layers of the sky like that. And then here on the leaves, I decided to try to keep those shadows on the right, and then of course those frogs are creating some sort of a shadow on those leaves as well. So that's how that all came together. And then for the finishing of this card, it will be really easy. So just finishing up the coloring. And once I'm happy, I'm going to use my basic rectangles. It's one of my dies that I use the most. It's from Mama Elephant, but any brand has it. And if you're good with a paper trimmer, you don't need a die. But I am not good with a paper trimmer, and I also really love a stitching detail on the edges. Now for the sentiment, I took the all occasion scripted greetings from My Favorite Things. If you don't have anything like that, personally, I don't find that you need to add a sentiment. I also already finished a card or two without adding anything more than just the number, as it says enough, I think. But you can always add a sentiment as well. So here the congrats. Then I'm going to add this panel on top of my card base. And then to finish it off, just some tiny details, I'm adding some glossy accents. I'm going to add them to the eyes, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, to that dauber in the water for the fishing. And that will be it. You can add many more, of course. You can add more glossy accents, you can add embellishments, glitter, anything your heart desires. I decided to keep it as is, and I hope that you like it. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that I could inspire you in any way. Don't forget, frogs can be in any color you like. So these are yellow. Thank you so much for stopping by and taking the time to watch this video. I truly hope you enjoyed it, and I appreciate you all for stopping by and taking the time to watch this video. I'll be back soon with some new inspiration. Bye!